Hey guys, this is Zishan from UltimateOffTimes.com. Today we are going to talk about Salt and Sacrifice. Review of Salt and Sacrifice with info on the story, gameplay mechanics, and everything else you need to know before you buy. If you enjoyed the Dark Souls-inspired side-scroller Salt and Sanctuary, I have some exciting news. I got my hands on an early chunk of its sequel, Salt and Sacrifice, and it appears to deliver on everything that made its predecessor great. The harsh foes, slick gameplay, enormous skill trees, and linked world are all doing extraordinary things. But this time they've been joined by a few new additions or tweaked to keep things fresher but no less difficult. Salt and Sacrifice is a 2D side-scroller that significantly riffs on Dark Souls and its gloomy, deadly universe to set the Soulslike scene. We're talking crumbling castles and hazy caverns strewn with wretches gorging on corpses or, more likely, looking for a fight, encroaching seas of mages. Cruel manifestations of elemental disaster wreak havoc on a once peaceful nation. The Marked Inquisitors, a doomed force of the damned, re-emerges to confront the existential menace of magic. A long-buried truth threatens to devastate an ancient empire. You'll be greeted by a familiar character creation screen when you start a new game in Salt and Sacrifice. You can choose one of 8 classes, personalize your appearance, and determine what kind of crime you've committed. You see, you're an indebted criminal, bound to be a Marked Inquisitor, a fancy language for someone who hunts wizards. You'll go after a mage if you even get a smell of them in this game. The classes in the game all felt unique, at least in the early going. Combat is brutal, with even common goblins capable of dispatching you in seconds. My fighter was clumsy but powerful, with slow rolls followed by massive swings. As a duelist, on the other hand, I was swift on my feet and could dance around with quick dashes. My katana was as fast and choppy as my fighter's axe, but it didn't hit as hard. Once you've accumulated enough salt from defeated foes, you can proceed to an altar to level up and distribute points to a vast skill tree. This altar is located in a central area that also houses NPCs who will trade items, upgrade items, and suggest where you should go next. It's also where you'll find the Arch, one of Salt and Sacrifice's most significant new additions. It's a teleporter that will transport you to areas where evil mages lurk, albeit you must spell out the destination in runestones for the Arch to transport you there. Progression appears to be linked to exploring regions and clearing them of mages, which unlocks new sites to spell out at the Arch, visit, and clear of mages. This whole hunting wizards thing is also new to the series. There are regular boss fights in Salt and Sacrifice, with enormous brutes that will block your way unless you challenge a massive guy with a gigantic great axe. But there are also hunts, which have you following a wispy black trail in quest of a powerful magician. In my instance, I needed to consume the heart of a pyromancer named Argentin, who had engulfed Ashbourne village in flames. Come on, Tinny. There's no reason for it. Hunting Argentin was a lot of fun, if a little confusing at times. It was a bit stop-start at first, with no clear end point. Tinny and I ran into one another several times, once in the village and next time at the depths of some mines, and again on a wooden platform. I could smack him during his pit stops, but I wasn't sure if I was hurting him. He'd summon some flames, possibly some foes for me to deal with, and then piss off into the ether, only until Tinny came to a halt on a wide, flat boss arena surface. Did the game specifically say, "Now you may fight Tinny"? Finally, some clarification, although I was a little disappointed that all my wailing on him had been for naught. The final fight with Argentin was a good slugfest. He'd try to engulf me in the Tower of Flames like a towering pyromancer, or he'd use the standard flamethrower tactic. He'd swing a blazing sword at me if I got too close. After multiple fruitless attempts to confront him, I resorted to the runaway and lob axes strategy, which worked perfectly. Tinny died, I gobbled his heart, and the hunt was over. In Salt and Sacrifice's multiplayer component, which includes PvP and PvEVP components, players will be able to summon companions and assault other worlds. We knew that Salt and Sacrifice would have multiplayer features when it launched in Q1 2022 for PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5, where the game makers stated that online cooperative multiplayer would be drop in, drop out, although details were limited at the time. The team revealed new information about the system, including PvP components, during the future game show at Gamescom. As a Marked Inquisitor, players are entrusted with tracking out corrupt mages to cleanse the Altarstone Kingdom's realm. That much we were certain of. It is now evident that other players will be able to either support or hinder that quest. The summoning candle is used to start multiplayer, and it can only be utilized by individuals who have atoned for their sins by devouring a guiltless shard, as developer James Silva explains in the video above. Atonement allows players to summon teammates to combat AI adversaries, allowing the Shroud Alliance to invade, slaying Hazeburnt spawns Haze Wraiths, which Silva claims will chase your pursuers, raiding and hunting other players. In this mode, up to 4 players can fight simultaneously. SCA Studios' Salt and Sacrifice is one of the week's biggest surprises. Acting as a sequel to 2016's second Salt and Sanctuary, the plot revolves around a renowned inquisitor who hunts wizards. And while no links to the predecessor are known, the gameplay is quite similar. The underlying principles and action were better demonstrated in extensive new GameSpot's Play for All presentation footage, while there are new features such as a grappling hook. Salt and Sacrifice also improved the interface significantly. Instead of exploring a full list of everything owned, you can now select particular spots for equipment. The animations appear to be enhanced as well. However, the aesthetic retains the original's dark and brooding ambience. Another intriguing aspect seems to be letting adversaries fight each other to decrease their ranks. Of course, classic traps like the swinging log remain, so you'll need to be cautious. The game makers SCA Studios' Salt and Sacrifice are set to launch on the 10th of May 2022 for the PS4, PS5, and PC. The additional features will be added upon the launch of the game. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this video. So, just click the like button below, and also to watch more videos from us, just subscribe to Ultimate of Times and also join our forum to build a gaming community.